everyone, coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show for the AEW Ring Report. Let's give you the rundown of all the matches that's going to happen right here. Coming up, let's show you the rundown right quick. Here's the rundown. And we see Kris Statlander defend her women's championship against Tesla. The tag team champions, FTR, goes against Jake something and Davies. Plus, Swerve Strickland takes on Andrade for advancement in the World Title Series, as well as Jon Moxley goes 1-1 against Ace Austin. Kenny Omega go against Rocky Romero. We'll hear from World Champion MJF from all this fuss going on. And Mark Briscoe goes against the Clown. But you won't believe why Tommaso Ciampa, a big surprise, Tommaso Ciampa leaving WWE for AEW. What's going on? We'll talk about it coming up and why he confronted Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe, I'm going to say Mark Briscoe. We'll get to it as the Pro Wrestling Show starts right here, right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Your host, as always, Kid Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in that conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend. Call a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. All right. You're here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Here we are. All right, we're back. All right. Let's cut the music right quick. All right. Cut the music. All right. We're back here on the we saw tonight was the AEW Ring Report. And let's move on to what went down tonight. You won't believe. We'll get to it right here, right now. We kick off with Kenny Omega. King Omega starting off the show. Omega saying what he's gonna do. Kenny Omega saying all this stuff tonight. Went against Rocky Romero. Rocky Romero didn't have a shot. But Kenny Omega came out there to his chagrin, coming out with his entrance. Kenny Omega looking great, feeling good. And Kenny Omega looking for an opportunity to become the world champion. He won his match against Rocky Romero. That was kind of easy peasy. You saw right there. But Omega setting his sights on one man only. This man right here, Omega, setting his sights on MJF. Omega wants to be the world champion once again and do so as he did. Kenny Omega later on did confront MJF, so they haven't formally met. You know, MJF is going to be having a lot of pressure going on with him being world champion. But Kenny Omega talking to Tony Schiavone about that. Speaking of the world champion, he's got a lot of problems on his hands as he's been called out by Big Brody King. Brody King wants a shot at Kenny MJF and wants a world title shot. MJF reluctantly didn't want to do so, but gave him a world title shot. That's going to happen next week on the Dynamite. And guess we're getting a whole bunch of stuff coming our way eventually. So we'll see how that's going to be playing out. Speaking of that, Kris Statlander with her girlfriends, the women's tag team champions, winning their gold and winning their belts. Kris Statlander went against Tekla and won. She's not resonating enough to be women's world champion. She needs more personality. I guess she's the champion, but she's a good wrestler. She needs to resonate a little bit more to have folks care. It just ain't resonating to me. She's gonna have to do something resonate, but most of these women like like the WWE women resonate more than the AEW women. The AEW women is gonna have to step up. Besides, they got Mercedes Monet, who kind of resonates, but everybody else ain't resonating. You know, I think they got to work on that to make folks care. Hold care. Well, speaking of that, uh, Jake something and Mark Davis, both of them aiming to be tag team champions, got Don Callis in their corner. Don Callis trying to be the manager of champions. Don Callis trying to do all he can do, and even Don Callis trying to get everybody, his family, in order. Even trying to get um Kyle Fletcher and Takesha in order and trying to make them on the same page. Eventually, it's going to explode. All these members going to explode. We can see Takesha against Okada. They're going to explode sooner rather than later. How that's going to go? It's like so many people are with that. What? We just have to wait and see. A lot of people just gunning for a world champion, even world champion, like we told you. He's got a lot on his plate. MJF, the big Brody King. Brody King wants a shot at the world championship. Will he get that shot? Only time will tell. Speaking of that, right here, the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks setting aside what they're gonna do. The Young Bucks trying to I guess trying to go back to their old ways, and the Young Bucks trying to relive the past. So the Young Bucks. I mean, this AEW was kind of all over the place. The only thing that kind of noticed and I had got from it was when let's see, Tommaso Ciampa showed up. What the Tommaso Ciampa doing in AEW? He just announced recently he was a part of WWE. He ain't with WWE no more. Tommaso Ciampa now is all elite. Tommaso Ciampa signing with AEW. Guess he feels like he's gonna get a bigger stage with AEW than WWE. It's gonna be okay for a minute, and then he gonna have some momentum, and then it's gonna the momentum right there. I mean, he's a good wrestler. He just when I first saw him in a Ring of Honor, I thought he was gonna be the Ring of Honor version of Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was, but then it just didn't resonate more. And hopefully, Tommaso Ciampa can really lock horns with a bunch of people he want to claw himself into. He'll get that opportunity this Saturday on Collision. We used to have a Collision Ring Report, but we don't have that no more. So we'll tell you about that next week, or perhaps the Royal Rumble predict the outcome special. But he'll go against Mark Briscoe, another crazy man. These two crazy people just gonna go at each other and at the ball, and you're gonna see that coming up because Mark Briscoe was the one that issued the challenge that he wanted to challenge someone, and he gets that opportunity. He'll go against you know who, Tommaso Ciampa. So that should be a good match to see. Um, Jay Briscoe went against Clump Clycone or something. Econ and he won his match, but now he get to sink his claws on a new opponent that came from the opposition. We'll see that. Let's see. Let's see. But speaking of that, Megan Bain also wants to put Fury to a match. She wants to go against whoever. So we'll see that as well. But, you see Tony Storm. Tony Storm. They still going at each other's throats. So we'll, you know, Maria Seville, they got each other's throats. So wasn't a lot going on tonight. Even to the point that Kesha wanted to get his hands on Marshall. They're gonna have a match eventually down the road. So we'll see Takesha Moxley have a match. You know that might be, but Moxley won his match tonight over Ace Austin, who came from TNA. A lot of people are coming from TNA to AEW, vice versa as well. Even to the point that FTR, the tag team champions, were in action. They went against Mark Davis. They won the match. So really, nothing really went down significant except Ciampa. I think Ciampa was the one that really rocked the place to me. Well, at the end was the main event of the night. The main event of the night was Swerve Strickland go 1-on-1 against Andrade. That was a new fresh matchup. Andrade versus Swerve Strickland. A lot of competition going on. They Swerve trying to dress got like a younger version of Junkyard Dog with the chains and stuff. Well, before the match, Andrade trying to find a female fan to give his number to. I guess Andrade now trying to do a new gimmick like he want to be a ladies man now. Andrade can go and he can go, but he was around Don Callis and stuff. Andrade won the match. He'll go against Kenny Omega next week. We'll see that match. It's gonna be a real good match. I told you earlier that Kenny Omega had met up with MJF. MJF feeling the pressure now, being world champion from the likes of Omega to Brody King. And now he was saying some salacious stuff to Andrade. Andrade said he ain't gonna wait. He gonna take his time. He ain't gonna smack him in the face. He's gonna take his championship away from him. MJF didn't like that one bit. MJF left all those men. Try to get in his car until Heyman Page showed up. Heyman Page showed up and told him like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And Heyman Page said he's coming for that world title. So a lot of people are coming for the world champion in his title. And that MJF really barked a tree, and he wish he could have cash. So this AEW was nothing more, nothing less. It was just about two things like Ciampa, Tommaso Ciampa, finally leaving WWE and breaking his own to go to AEW, and Andrade winning his match tonight. Andrade winning his match tonight over Swerve Strickland. We saw that tonight as well. So, but we see that Swerve might be out of the top picture. K-Man and Ken Omega are still in it. So there's a lot of misdeeds are going on. I can say that right now. So we'll keep a close eye on all this situation. All right. We in the AEW Ring Report. Let's move on to Wrestling Hot Topics. On Wrestling Hot Topics, we want to talk about this. Well, earlier today on the Pat McAfee show on ESPN and YouTube, Brock Lesnar made a rare appearance on the Pat McAfee show via his Pat McAfee on FaceTime. Talked to the Beast, and the Beast Incarnate and now announced that he has entered the Royal Rumble match. Brock Lesnar, two-time Royal Rumble winner, won it in a couple of years ago, nearly 4 years ago, at the 2022 Royal Rumble, and won it in 2003. Brock Lesnar, a two-time Royal Rumble winner. Um, he could win it and be the third win it 3 times. The tie with Stone Cold Steve Austin, just about everybody. Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes. Um, what? We it's a couple, but Brock has declared himself into the Royal Rumble match. You'll see if Pat McAfee is going to make appearance at the Royal Rumble match as well. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, you see right here, this is a area view of what the Royal Rumble could be with the WrestleMania sign. So they're saying the WrestleMania sign will be up and about, seeing that with a lot of fans nearby. So they're trying to keep it, I guess, as simple. What we saw a lot of people, even we saw Jay Carhill and Bianca Belair moving around, which that was a big spoiler. Bianca Belair and Jade. We're hearing about that. They also told you that Roman Reigns via video message will enter the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns declares for the Royal Rumble. A lot of people are entering the Royal Rumble. This is going to be a one-time event thing. Even WWE signed this man right here, Power Trois. I don't know who he is, but he's going to be a part of the Royal Rumble coming up. So we'll see. Even General Manager Adam Pearce saying the Finn Balor, there are no more spots. But you can best believe there are no more spots. But we would just have to watch and wait and see how the Royal Rumble is going to be. Well, we're going to leave you. We'll leave you here on the Pro Wrestling Show. We're going to leave you with Tommaso Ciampa making it official that he's part of AEW going forward and opposing Triple H, his one-time boss. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long. We'll see you tomorrow for the TNA Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show.